Too often, we find ourselves voting, but knowing little about the names or the issues that are on the ballot. But is this the way that it should be, or just the way that it's always been? Well, that's where we come in, community media. We reached out to the candidates of the May 24th election and asked them to spend a few minutes introducing themselves to the people of our communities. Here are the names, the faces, the voices, and the ideas of those who did. Thank you for joining us. I'm Gabriel Andrews with Community Media. I'm here with Mr. Danny Stevens.
Yes, sir.
County Commissioner candidate for District 3. Danny, how are you?
I'm great. How are you, Gabriel?
I'm outstanding.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. So the main purpose of this interview, this program, is to give the people a chance to meet you.
Yes,
just to get to know you, maybe see your face, hear your voice, get a basic idea of what you're about. So on a personal level, who is Danny Stevens?
Okay, so Danny Stevens, he's a lifelong resident of Meriwether County, born in Warm Springs, raised in pretty much Woodbury all my life. I live in on Waddell Road. It's in the Cove community, but it's a Woodbury address. Been there probably 15 years. Lived right over here, the other side of the lake, all my childhood. My grandparents have a place over there. We live next door to them, and after I met my wife Kelly and stuff, we bought the place in the Cove and built a house there. So like I say, I've lived there. We've been married 13 years. I've got two little boys. Athens, he's 10, Brooks is 7. And just always been interested in Meriwether County. I love it. It's my hometown. It's my community, and take pride in it. So.
And you're affiliated with the fire department in Meriwether County?
Yes, sir. I've been a volunteer firefighter for 23 years, roughly. I have been paid for about the last 2. September of this year will make my 2nd year anniversary as a paid firefighter with Meriwether County, and I come on as the assistant fire chief. So.
Outstanding.
Yep.
So, with that much experience in the county and in the community, what's been your take on things? How's it been for you living in Meriwether County?
Well, like I said, I love Meriwether County. I love the rural aspect of it. I love that it's a small town feel. It's the Mayberry type county. There's a lot of people that through your family. There's a lot of friends that you've built. A lot of the people that you went to high school with, and things like that. You still see those individuals today. I think Meriwether County is a great county. It has a very diverse population. We have, of course, with the cities and towns and things like that, we have the businesses and stuff in there. And then in the rural aspects of the county, it's very big in agriculture and cattle farming and forestry. It's just an awesome place to be. Yeah.
So what inspires you to run for public office?
I've always had an interest in politics. I just kind of navigate toward those areas, but I've been a public service for 22 years, 23 years. It's about giving back to the community. It's about helping your community. It's about being part of the community, being active in the community. In the fire service, there's not an I in it. We can't accomplish our job unless all of us, commit to that job and commit to that challenge, and it's a we thing. And so, with being in politics or going toward the political side, I want to bring that same ambition to the Board of Commissioners. I want it to be a we thing. I want to help the county grow and make sure we have the right growth, not necessarily just the massive growth in sporadic areas, but make sure there's ordinances and things in place so we get our infrastructure, in when we do that growth, so it doesn't cost the taxpayers and the county more in the long run. We make sure we got water. Countywide water is a huge issue right now. All we have is municipalities that kind of branch out in some of the areas of the county, but if we have those residential housing come to the county, then we need to make sure that we can provide water to those. Not only that, it's a service for the citizens with the water distribution, but also it helps the fire service as well. And right now we have a water shuttle program that we have to actually transport water to fire scenes, and as long as we make sure with our growth that we plan accordingly for that growth with the infrastructure, the roads and the water and the sewer and, all that type stuff, I think it's, and I look forward to kind of being part of that growth.
So what's your take on how your experience will translate into the actual role of a county commissioner? What does that job look like for you?
I think it's not necessarily about who's right and who's wrong. It's can we agree to accomplish the task at hand? It's not my idea or somebody else's idea. I think with my experience, especially in the fire service, I've been self-employed. I currently have a self-employed tree service that me and my brother run, as well as working in the fire service and bringing all that knowledge to there, and to being able to talk with somebody. We may not necessarily agree. We can agree to disagree. But, as long as we do it in a cordial manner and we can move forward from that, then I think that's a huge benefit in today's political environment. It's not necessarily getting what you want. It does it benefit the county. And that's the end result. If it benefits the county, then let's look at it. Let's look at it strong and hard.
What is it about Danny Stevens that just fits as a county commissioner?
I went probably, let's say about 6 years ago, I went to work for the state of Georgia. And in the volunteer fire service, it is very hard to get those individuals to come together and allow an outsider to come in and be part of their organization. And with that, I was tasked with the job of doing volunteer. It was called the Volunteer Initiative Program, and our job was to go out and train volunteers, go to their chiefs meetings, go to their department meetings, all that type stuff, and train volunteers in the fire service period. And a lot of them they built their shells around them because they didn't want you to tell them they were doing something wrong. And my approach to that was when I went into there, I was just part of them. I was like, you guys teach me something. Not necessarily me standing up here. I know I'm doing the lecture and stuff, but I want to learn about Shiloh Fire Department. I want to learn about Milan Fire Department. Having an open mind and being able to communicate with these chiefs that shut down, so to speak. And then it got to where those guys were requesting me to come and do training in their organization. And I want to bring that experience to the Board of Commissioners, with everybody. Let's sit down, let's talk about things. Let's discuss whether it's, does it benefit Meriwether County? And if it benefits Meriwether County, like I said, that's something we really need to take a look at. So, and I want to be that calm voice. I want to be that, I've had several people tell me the level-headedness. Just listen. You don't have to talk a lot. You can just listen and see and make up your mind, talk with your constituents and your citizens and say, hey, look, this is what we're looking at. How does this benefit you? How does this affect you? Things like that. So, I think you just have to look at it, bring that experience from working in state government, local government, owning your own business, all that type of stuff, just bringing it all together and making it fit for Meriwether County.
So you talked a little bit about infrastructure, water, roads, and such. What are some other things that you think you'd like to see happen should you be elected?
I mean, you take, for instance, this right here. Lake Meriwether, beautiful place in Meriwether County, in Woodbury, Georgia especially. This is a passive recreation, so to speak. Walking trail, the boat docks and all that stuff. And I actually serve on the Lake Meriwether Advisory Board. And those are some of the things that we were able to accomplish as a board with just communicating with each other, and talking about that. Some of the things I'd like to see with Meriwether County is just the agricultural aspect. I know there's been talk about the Ag Tech Center here in Woodbury. I would love to continue those talks, see where we can take some of our kids that are coming out of high school that are going elsewhere to get jobs and introduce them to the agricultural field, or to bring them into the fire service. You know, we're needing help. The sheriff's department, public safety in general, you know, keep some of those kids here in the county. And I think if we get out and promote that, you know, and try, it starts with our kids really, you know, and bringing those up in through the service and try to keep them home based. We put a lot of emphasis on secondary education, post-secondary education, and college and things like that, and those things are great. And once those are accomplished, try to get them back into Meriwether County. You know, there's huge development going up in Manchester right now, with, you know, some of the news release that's been out with that, with the subdivision out on the outside of town on some property they got out there, and you know, they're going to need help with those skilled laborers. You know, carpenters, pipe fitters, welders, electricians, all that type stuff. You know, so I think in doing that, keeping the kids here, trying to get them to come back and work in Meriwether County, I think that's a huge asset to what we have to offer. So,
What would you like to say to the citizens of Meriwether County?
if you want a straightforward, open-minded, honest individual, lots of experience in a vast different array of things. You know, I've worked for myself, I've worked for the private industry, I've worked in retail, I've been in the fire service and public safety, those type things. You know, if you're looking for that individual, then I think vote for me, vote for Danny Stevens. I'm an individual that has Meriwether County at heart. I love this county. I've lived here all my life, and not only that, though, I'd like to call out the citizens of Meriwether County. You know, if you think you can make a difference, there's so many volunteer opportunities within this county, from baseball, umpiring and refereeing, Habitat for Humanity, you know, you name it, the volunteer fire service. Anything like that you want to be involved in, I challenge each and every individual to get involved in some way in your community and be part of it.
Danny, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you all for joining us. Again, I'm Gabriel Andrews with Community Media, here with Danny Stevens, County Commissioner candidate for District 3. Hopefully this has given you a face to put next to the name on the ballot. Danny, it's been a pleasure.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, Gabriel.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.